my boy Ryan Case. He's an artist, and I came across his stuff a while back, and I just like his style of it.
Yeah.
Plus, I like supporting like live artists. There's a saying, it's like support living artists, because people spend millions and millions on all these these paintings from people that are so they're dead. But then you got all these artists nowadays that like are just trying to do what they're passionate about and make it. And so I'm like big on supporting people I know. Like I got a room at my house that's like where I have my altar and stuff, like where I meditate, practice my cello and shit. I'll show you a picture. And that's most of the stuff in there is original art from a homie of mine. But it's all like, there's a couple of them. You can see like that one right there. Yeah, those are all, hand done. And they all have some pretty spiritual significance. But anyways, yeah, and Ryan, I came across his stuff, and then I've just been buying his shit, and he's doing like a special piece for me. And he's even sending me a bunch of prints to hand out at the grand opening, and he's like, man, I'm going to make, if anybody ever wants art, like RP people, like I'm making a discount code for your people. And I'm like, dude, that's fucking dope.
You should make slap stickers. Like I had a guy that used to do paintings and stuff like that, and he would always make slap stickers to like hand out so people can slap it on stuff.
Dude.
I'm
gonna tell Ryan to do that. That's a smart idea.
If he hasn't already thought about it, I mean, I don't necessarily know if that's vandalism or not, but
if we don't have headphones on, it's like I'm kind of fucked.
It's kind of like free beer and hot wings.
Yeah, something like that.
That's like
dude, I haven't had wings in a while.
So the tip is diagonally pointed at his mouth, so it's good. And yours is a little bit lower, so you have to talk into it.
I like when it's pointed straight at the tip is usually like straight on.
It's almost like this is what I'd feel like if a dick was in my face.
What's up, everybody? This is Joe Adams with the Relentless Pursuit podcast. I have a very special guest, my bro, Will Wiseman, owner of Nutrition Factory in Mount Juliet. He's a young entrepreneur doing his thing. Before, we were first going through this, we were talking about how we met.
Yes.
And he slid into my DMs. He loved RP. He's like, let's collaborate. I was like, that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I rolled into his shop. He, gave me an idea and everything. We had to have the Nutrition Factory logo in there, so we got that on the sleeve. And what's y'all's, what's the quote for something? Because it's built for something.
Oh my God. Oh, what a brand. I hope my corporate CEO don't say this. Built for greatness or something. It has something to do with that, right?
It was built for, we added greatness because I have only greatness, so we combined them. So we got built for greatness on the back.
Maybe like built for the people or something like that. Some shit. I don't know.
Built for.
I know we save money. We save everybody money. So
yeah, so it's built for that. But anyways,
it's building a healthier you.
Is that it for real?
Oh God,
that's what the bio on Instagram for Nutrition Factory says. It says building a healthier you.
He's a champion.
That's shitty. I can't believe I didn't know that.
Logan, I'm thinking you just come to all the podcasts because you always got some good input. Like I was like, man, why record it myself? Logan's good at that shit. And then on top of that, he's like informational. He's got Google handy.
Oh yeah,
he chimes in some good stuff. I mean, I know with Steve, he was bringing up some great points. I'm like, fuck, why not say that?
I feel like in all podcasts, there's either like 3 or 4 people.
Yeah,
like there's like an off-topic guy. Like me and you are having the main conversation. He's over there waiting for somebody to fuck up, and he slips in. Like,
I think honestly, I'm kind of digging it.
Yeah, it's not
I don't know, Logan. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this. I think it's a good idea.
It's good. It's a good thing, I think, in general.
For record, I knew that about my store.
He just woke up. It's like 5 a.m. Ignore the sunlight.
Yeah, I know. You see how pale my skin is? I'm a vampire.
But so we collaborated on the shirt, and that's really cool. I mean, amazing opportunity, man. He was able to get this shirt put in every nutrition factory in the state of Tennessee, which is pretty fucking cool, man. Just dope. Knowing that the brand's getting out there like that.
I sold out of mine so quick.
Hell yeah, and it's really cool opportunity. And and then I go to Mount Juliet every once in a while, or once a week to go to the barbershop. Yeah, every Thursday is my usual cut day. And nowadays I'm really busy, but if I don't have, if I have a little wiggle room, I'll just walk on in.
We get it in when it's done.
Yeah, and we'll just chat it up, man, about life. So it's always good, solid conversation. And so, yeah, here you are. I knew it would be a good podcast. You'll probably be like a repeat offender, dude.
That's fun.
Like
I like to talk. I like to hear myself talk.
me too. I just like, I wish there was a mirror in here somewhere. Just kidding.
I'm looking at you right there.
Oh, thanks, dude. But I want to have some guests that are going to be in here multiple times.
Yeah.
So you seem like the kind of guy that will always have solid conversation. And if I'm shit out of luck with finding anybody else, I got you always.
Last resort.
Last resort.
It is what it is. That's still a compliment because you're still on the list. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like a lot of people take that as like wow, I'm the second choice, but you're still a choice. Imagine not being a choice at all.
It's like being the last picked for the basketball game or whatever.
But you were still picked.
I was always picked last. I sucked at basketball, so I'm glad. I would have picked me last too.
If
there's like a brawl,
arm wrestling,
come on,
I'd definitely pick you first.
Thanks, man.
Hell yeah. Fucking somebody up, pick you first.
Dude, that means a lot,
I'd put you on my team.
Hell yeah. Well, let's break into it. So, Will, how old are you?
25.
25, a young gun. Owns his own store already.
Just a baby.
That's cool though, man. 25 years old. You own you got your own franchise and nutrition factory in Mount Juliet. Tell us about your backstory, maybe a little bit of your upbringing, what influenced you to become an entrepreneur, why Nutrition Factory, all those things. Let's hear about it.
So I guess Nutrition Factory really wasn't on the list. Like I never obviously you graduate high school and you're like, what's next? Never was like that. I wasn't like, oh my God, Nutrition Factory. Let me get into this business and eventually, own a little bit of it or so-and-so. I guess like upbringing wise, I'm from the Donaldson area, Davidson County,
Cool.
The good stuff.
For those of you that don't know, it's right outside of Nashville pretty much.
It's the Dirty D.
Okay.
That's what we
so
like
it's
to
known
call it.
as?
That's what we say. It was a good little time over there,
Yeah.
Some areas better than the other, obviously.
Of course.
Graduated from McGavick. Not gonna say that with like a big Superman on my chest, Good. It's McGavick. But it did what it was supposed to do. Got out of high school. Tried college out. Nah. Yeah. That was definitely a pass. College was fucking ass. Congrats to everybody that does graduate, because
especially right away.
Right away, yeah.
Well,
fuck.
to interject, it's a good subject to get onto real quick. So college, right after high school, a lot of people suck at it, and I'm not attacking anybody. You obviously did. I was terrible at it. I got hooked on drugs. I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go like fucking. Dude, I was a criminal justice major. I was like, I'm gonna go in the FBI, be a secret agent.
You got to know.
Next thing you know, I'm addicted to pills. I'm like, doesn't really work.
But how would you be a good FBI agent if you didn't know about the product?
That's the thing. But then I found out they like lie detected you, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I'd want a guy that's got experience in the field.
That's like going to a tattoo artist with no tattoos.
Yeah, it's a good point.
How are you gonna tell?
No, that's a
shit
fucking
don't add
fact.
up.
Yeah. So college, man. I do want to touch on that because I feel like a lot of younger people feel pressured to go to school. Did you have family where they're like, you need to go to college?
So, no, not really. Actually, my mom and dad were kind of just like, do whatever the fuck you want. So actually in high school, obviously sports. I did a little bit of baseball, did a little bit of AAU basketball as well, but I also ran track. I was actually extremely good at track.
Track runner?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't picture you being a runner.
400 meters. I went to state 3 years in a row.
Nice.
I won city. We won city every time I was there.
Dude, running was always like the worst thing I was at.
It was cool. It was fun. Conditioning training sucked. Felt like I didn't have to train. I was like, man, I'll just show up.
Just good at it.
Running ain't that hard. But I take that back. So if there's ever like any track runners that get on this and they're like, yo, who's this motherfucker talking? That shit's hard as fuck.
Well, I think it becomes like, you say that because it's so natural to you.
Yeah.
And most of the athletes are, but I think to perform top tier and actually condition for it, like that's no easy feat.
Conditioning is no joke.
I think doing the running is one thing, but actually all the other things that go into it, the journey to like a race or whatever is what is
it's fun to win a race.
Yeah.
It always is like that race, like when you're young and you're like, all your boys are next to each other, like, man, dude, I'm way fucking faster than you.
Yeah.
The other boy's like, nah, dude, line it up.
Dude,
we're going to the tree. And that's how it felt. That's how it felt for me. Like you'd run across the line. It's like, told you motherfuckers I was faster than you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was cool. So I thought I was going to go to college and run track. Fuck that. The conditioning, dude, fuck that, dude. Well, I also got into bodybuilding. So I did my first 4 shows with Team Diesel and Dwayne Hampton.
Oh, so you competed like 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
All in the time of being 18.
Shit.
Yeah, it was fucking. It was fun. I mean, I didn't really party as much, didn't drink as much. I was like so obsessed with achieving this physique.
See, when I was 18, I was snorting Xanax, getting fat.
I mean,
somehow I got fat on pills. I just ate pizza every day.
Pizza's good.
Dude, it was terrible.
Don't know about snorting
Learned a
Xanax,
lesson.
but pizza's definitely good.
Yeah, I learned a lesson. I mean,
trial and error.
hindsight. I'm glad I went through that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you got to. You can't expect to learn anything in life without teaching yourself.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to learn the lessons.
I've had people be like, "Oh, you're a fool." Like, no, not really. I mean, I got in, I got out. Now I know what that's like, and it is what it is.
The thing is with that is what I've noticed with a lot of people are like super judgmental on that. They're so judgmental on you or me or shit, even Logan, you know, even they could be. I don't know how they could be. Look at them. But they could be judgmental.
I've definitely had my stuff too.
Oh, yeah.
So
I mean, yeah. Trial and error.
We're all grimy.
And school wasn't for me either, so
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, fuck that.
On the same boat.
But usually if they're judging you super hard, they're doing some fucked up shit.
Oh, yeah.
That means they got some shit that they've buried so hard that they just can't. They're just going to take it out on you.
Oh, yeah. Most people ain't faced their demons.
Nah. See, swim with mine.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
we bathe together.
Right?
Motherfuckers ask me if I take baths. I say with candles too. I mean, it's just nice. It's relaxing. Yeah, I mean, it's those people that will go home and they're like, "Yeah, I cheat on my wife." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, "Oh,
I don't do drugs, but God,
hey, God,
I'll cheat on my woman."
On my fucking wife.
Jesus. But yeah, so you didn't do college, and I, you know, like I said, I can attest to that. Well, we were talking about that, you know, it just wasn't your thing. And I think, for example, it took me, I always say this, but it took me at 28. Let's see, I got my accident, 29, you know, I was like recovered, like, and that's about the time I figured out what the hell I want to do in my life. I was 29 years old in the middle of college after I went through like a life-changing event.
Almost done.
You know, so most people honestly never figure out what they want to be because they're so influenced by others. People think, oh, you need to go to college and do X, Y, and Z in order to succeed and retire and get a good fucking check, which is ridiculous because you might not even make it there. And I hate to say it, but it's the truth. So there's that aspect. But also, they're so influenced by everybody else. And I think a lot of people that either do go to college with that influence, they end up being stuck in something they're not happy with their whole life.
Or they get a degree that has no fucking meaning. Like, what are you going to do with it? You just paid. You're in student loan debt. Yeah. What are you doing with it? You're doing. And it makes no sense. You got a business degree and you're not even doing anything with business. Like, what?
Exactly.
What was the point of fucking going? You could have done that shit out of high school.
Yeah. And so it's just like, because, you can learn so many other ways. I know plenty of very successful entrepreneurs that never went to school.
Yeah.
They read a shit ton of books.
Reading books.
They listen to podcasts and they learn their own way.
Reading books is solid.
Yeah, but that being said, like, so a lot of people that happens to, but then, you know, society tells you need to go to school, do this, you're going to make more. But then you got all these 18-year-olds that go into college. They don't know what the fuck they want to be at all. They're so stressed out trying to figure it out. And yeah, they end up staying in school and, you know, rushing into something that they don't want to be a part of or whatever the case. At the end of the day, I don't think most minds are matured enough to like make that call. Yeah, you get some people that are just stellar students and they're like, I want to be a fucking doctor. Yeah. Like that is my dream. And they go to school and they make all A's and they go to doctorate school and they they become a doctor. And I'm like, that's fucking cool. But guess what? Most people aren't engineered that way.
Doctor what, after 8 years?
And also, you know, like to be a doctor, you need to go to school for 12
I
years.
mean, is it 12?
To be well, I mean, like by the time you're done with everything, it's
that's a long ass time.
It's a long time.
One of my buddies.
It pays off.
One of my buddies is going to be a PT, you know, and he went to school at Tennessee, got his 4-year degree. Now he's been in school for 2 years in Texas and worked as a PT assistant. Now he's going to get his master's in Chattanooga. And I mean, he's been in school forever, dude.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to do originally was PT.
My point is that some of those careers, you have to have that, you know, you need schooling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I agree. Yeah. So like if you're going down that path of like,
oh yeah.
You're good. I saw him at the corner of my eye. I was like trying to like give you the look.
Yeah.
Just pull it forward a little bit. So
towards me?
Yeah. So you don't have to, no, the other way.
Oh,
there you go.
So you don't have to move your head.
I was trying to give you like that first kiss look. You know, like you're looking at her lips. You're like,
yeah. I don't read those cues. I just go for it every time.
No, but to touch on that, so straight out of high school, going to college, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing either. So it's funny you say that. At the time, this is even better. I was going to go to MTSU because I was in a relationship at the time. That's where I was shooting. So I didn't do what I needed to do to get to MTSU. So I was actually, she got a dorm up there, and I was actually just staying at MTSU's campus, sleeping in the dorm every day while she would go to school.
Hell yeah.
And come back. Now,
free room and board, baby.
I mean, I was chilling.
You didn't even have a scholarship.
Nope. I was hanging out. Oh, that's no bueno. That's my alarm in the store.
Oh, fuck.
Now you're good.
Oh, emergency.
We need to check on that real quick.
Yeah, 2 seconds set.
Okay.
Fuck.
Let me make sure he's okay.
Oh, you got somebody working there?
Yeah, I'm the boss. Hey, did I get it off? You all right? All right. If the cops show up, just say it's, just give my number, then call me. All righty. Sorry about that, bud. You have a good day today. All right.
Hey, I like it. We got some real time. We got some real time moves that had to be made there real quick.
Yeah, this is like that was an emergency. Y'all just witnessing an emergency.
Good shit. MJ Police would have been there in a heartbeat.
MJPD,
Them motherfuckers don't play.
SWAT team.
Shout
Trust me.
out to them, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they do what they got to do. But
Well, they only got to drive like 2 miles.
yeah,
So
MTSU, I was in there hanging out.
yeah,
Doing absolutely probably like really fucking nothing. I was
Yeah.
kind of like at that point, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? So I to skip past that, I was like, man, maybe I'll go check out Ball State, a little 2-year free college or whatever. And so I got into that, got that filled out, was going to do that. Then I got to I guess, whatever the lady is that gives me my fucking classes. I don't even remember her fucking name. But she was like, you're going to take this and this. And I was like, damn, I just took that in high school. She was like, yeah, these are cores. You got to do your core classes. I was like, so I'm gonna learn the same fucking shit that I just learned in high school.
That's the biggest bunch of bullshit about the whole thing. It's like you spend 15 years learning that stuff, and then your first 2 years, and for you, what year did you graduate?
14, 15.
You must have graduated 15 because the 2 free years was the year after.
Yeah, 15.
So we didn't have the 2 free years, but even with the 2, I mean, if it's not free, it's even worse.
Was it 14 or 15? I'm 25. I turned 26 in November.
graduated in 08. That's all I know.
The 2 free years started the year after I graduated, and I graduated 14. So
Are you older than me?
yeah, I think so. I turned 27 in October. Cool. But anyway, my point being is
You're closer to 30.
You go 15. Yeah, you go like 15 years learning all this stuff, and then you have to blow either your 2 free years or community college is cheaper, but it's it's not free, so you have to blow that on stuff that you've already learned. It's ridiculous.
It's stupid.
Some of the core stuff is beneficial. Like I liked public speaking was fun.
Yeah, but I can public speak now.
Yeah, but I think going through like a curriculum and like learning about it, I think I don't know. My professor was dope. So I had a lot of fun with that class, and like you got to talk about controversial things, and I got to present that to the class.
I mean, yeah, I could see where you definitely were digging that.
Yeah, it was a good time. So that was like the only core class like that I enjoyed.
Yeah, see,
Psychology was neat too.
Kind of taught all that shit myself.
But you can, yeah, exactly. You can
like
teach yourself a lot of that shit.
Being uncomfortable is fun. I ain't never done a podcast before, but I'm gonna get on here like I've done a million.
Yeah.
So.
Well, because it's very simple. One, the camera's not just facing your face, which is a little different, but we're just shooting the shit like we would at your shop.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much that's how.
Same thing. But
does it?
But like you said, yeah, so a lot of pressure to go to school. That being said, we'll move on, but for the young years out there, don't apply too much pressure on yourself to think that that's what you need to do to get your life straightened out, because it's a big decision. It's bigger than you think. I mean, I went back just only because, one, I failed at it, and it's something I told myself in the military that I was going to go back and do.
Well, yeah.
Plus the benefits to go to school as a veteran.
I would have done it too.
Getting paid to go, like I got it. My job is school. Like that's fucking easy, and it's paid for, and I get a check every month. Like, why the hell not? And it gave me just time to figure out what the hell I want to do, And I got my degree hanging above my desk. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it was an accomplishment. I'm proud of it.
You did it. You did it. Everything is an accomplishment.
Not saying I was some stellar student. I wasn't like valedictorian or some shit, but I did what I had to do.
I saw a picture yesterday. It's funny you said that about accomplishments. And it was like a bunch of glasses of water, like getting half full, unfull, half full, unfull, but they were like stating like each one of those glasses can be an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? As you move forward through life, just because it's not full every time, like your achievement isn't the greatest every time, doesn't make it, not an achievement.
Dude, I talk about that. Kind of makes me think of this one topic. So in my life, I like to try everything.
Yeah. As you should.
I want to try it all. Like if I think it's fucking cool, I'm like, I want to give that a shot. And I used to get shit in the past from somebody that was like, you do all these things, you want to try this and that, but you don't even complete most of them. And I'm like, that's the point.
That's the point.
But at least I tried it.
Yeah.
Because there's things that I do give a shot that I thought was fucking rad. And then I get into it and I'm like, I wasn't really into that. But at least I know. That way I'm not going to sit there and 20, 30, 40, 50 years and be like, man, I wonder what that would have been like.
Oh, so that's a super unsupportive person, almost to the point of being a hater. And
it's kind of like hating.
I've said before that, like, I know that I'll win because I've failed so many times. Like, I've tried. Actually, the way that I said it was, I've tried more than most have failed, or I've failed more than most have tried, and that's why I know I will succeed.
Yeah.
Right.
That's solid.
That's very, very well said. I don't have to write that down. It's going to be a fucking
that's a tattoo
writing topic for me.
I've failed more than most have tried, and that's why I know I will succeed.
Just remember that. It's a lot to write.
and to that point, it's like, how do you know what you like? How do you know what you're good at? How do you know what's going to work? How do you know any of those things if you don't try anything?
Exactly. It's like, I always wanted to play music just because I love music. Mm-hmm. And guitar seemed like the way to go. I started playing when I was younger, but I fell off. I got a really nice acoustic guitar.
I think we all have.
Several years ago.
I play guitar too. I think it's one of those things. You listen to rock music or you have any type of like metal in you when you're growing up. As like a kid, like my dad was always like, Led Zeppelin, Queen. If you're not listening to this, you're not listening to good fucking music.
Don't forget stuff like that.
Don't forget Kiss. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
And like you got to get on the guitar. And then what is Smoke on the Water? It's like the first thing you learn how to play. And it's like, oh shit,
do the little tabs.
I'm fucking doing this right now. You know what I'm saying? So
then
was cool.
But I fell off of that. I was like, man, I just haven't fallen in love with guitar.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, but the instrument that hits me the most is the cello. I love the cello. It's one of those, it could bring me to tears every time.
It's peaceful.
Oh, yeah, and I get chills listening to it. Like, it's very sorrowful. Like, I listen to it when I meditate, riding down the road, whatever. I love cello. And I'm like, man, it's a lot fucking tougher. Nothing against guitarists, but anybody that knows cello, like, it's a very difficult instrument to get into.
Easy.
Yeah, and I started that back in October. I fell off because I went through that depression in the beginning of the year and stuff, and it was right there, but I never wanted to fuck with it. But like the past several weeks, I've been practicing more than I ever have. I got this morning routine, and I sit there upstairs 15 to 30 minutes. I just fucking practice, and I'm getting better and better. I'm able to like not have to look at my fingers now when I'm running the bow.
It's like Guitar Hero, but cello hero.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. Like, I tried guitar. I figured out I didn't like it. Now here I am trying the cello, and I'm like, man, I love it. This is a lifetime pursuit for me. But I think that's just life. I think that's a beautiful thing. Like, just give it all a freaking shot.
See, I think mine's like the piano. Like, I really like the sound of the piano.
Oh, piano's beautiful.
I've always wanted to play the piano. Plus, I think that's just one of those things. Like, I mean, you're sitting at your house. Just imagine. Let's picture a scenario. It's me and you. We're hanging out.
Yeah.
Having some drinks. Just chilling.
Getting a little stoned.
Yeah.
Music's really good.
Yeah, music is on point. Next thing you know, I'm like, yo, you didn't know this, but I can play the piano. And then I get over there, start slapping it down.
And I'm just like, holy shit, dude.
I
just lay back.
Come on, bro. That's big dick energy.
Whenever I went to start boxing, I at the time I was telling Steve this last time. I had my channel still at the time, and I was going to do this thing where I was going to learn one skill per year and then perform it at the end of the year. So boxing was the thing. I was going to learn it for a year, take a fight at the end of the year. That obviously didn't happen, but the one that was like a close second was playing piano.
Dude, that shit's fire.
Whenever I was younger, I got into it just a little bit, and yeah.
I just think it's one of those things. Like,
it's so classy too. Bro.
It is.
Just
it is.
Walking up to a piano and just nice and calm, just hitting this.
I think that's why I love like piano, and like I'm big into like cello, obviously. But I think just those classical instruments that are becoming less prevalent. People are moving more into digital things and whatnot. So I just got to keep them alive.
Lo-fi music is all like bits and pieces of sounds put into one.
Yeah, which is cool and all. It has its place,
yeah.
But I mean,
I sleep to it from time to time.
Yeah,
on YouTube. I mean, I don't mind it.
Yeah. So, but anyways, yeah. So that's the big thing, man. Is just going through life, giving it all a shot. Hook onto the things you want to, you love. Let some of them go, but at least you got the experience, man.
It's kind of like So I had a discussion last night. I was at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Disgusting.
But I want to get one.
God, I hate B-dubs.
Boneless wings.
I'm pretty sure last time I was there, I saw a rat.
Hey, Master Splinter, baby. I love the Ninja Turtles. So saying that, we got into this discussion about playing basketball. And my buddy of mine, he's like, he's just like 6'4", playing college basketball. He's like, man, let's 1v1. I'm like, that's fine. I'll fucking win. Like, I'll beat you. But and they're like, nah. Like, you're not going to win. This dude's 6'4". I'm like, bro, the problem is I never have doubt of not winning.
Yeah.
Every situation I go into, I'm going to win. There's no option of losing.
It's always worth a shot.
And I just feel like a lot of people don't have that mentality, and that's where they fail. That's where their confidence and everything lacks. And I'm just like, you got to think, like, you're going to die one day. You're going to be 50-50 with everything you do. You're going to be 100%.
Exactly. Go balls to the wall, baby.
What's there to lose?
Oh, exactly.
Comfortability is a slow death. And before I let that happen.
I don't want to be comfortable at all.
No, fuck that.
Got to try it all.
Light that shit on fire.
Yeah.
I feel like we've had this conversation before.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I just want to do it all. I want to play instruments. I want to fucking have kids. I want to grow this business as large as I can, do more business. I want a Clydesdale one day.
Yeah.
I got to have a horse.
Why not?
But anyways, just do everything, man.
I mean, the only person that's holding you back is yourself.
Exactly.
Like, that's the thing. And that runs back to college. Like what you said with college. A lot of people, I think what has that big impact is fear of not making money or being successful. But a lot of people don't understand. Money is printed every day. You can go get it anywhere you want.
Yeah.
You ain't got to go fucking to college to make money.
It's fact.
I mean, shit. There's money literally everywhere. So I just feel like if people had more of that outlook.
Well, also surrounding yourself with people that have that outlook as well. You know, my big issue in the past was like, you know, maybe being in a relationship with somebody that wasn't similarly minded.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Or like having friends that thought certain things were unrealistic.
Mm-hmm.
Now looking back, I don't look at anything as unrealistic.
No, yeah.
Like, I hate the term that be realistic. Like, no, I don't want to, because once you start doing that, you limit yourself.
You know what's crazy is I've actually caught myself and, you know, saying that to like giving advice or like to myself, and like it's like you say it and you think like, man, why the fuck am I saying that? I'm almost downplaying your goals.
Yeah.
And it is a very fucked up saying.
Yeah, realism, like being realistic is such a limiting
that shit's ass. It's almost like a stab in the back.
I hate it.
If I ever told you that, I'm sorry.
Before we have about 3 minutes before we have to break, but I have a question on that. So
what's up?
Limiting, or you said not being realistic, basically.
Yeah.
So how do you balance that with managing your expectations?
I ran into this issue recently. I'm trying to like give a pretty prime example of this, because obviously there is a balance.
No, yeah, there has to be.
You know, like, yes, there's nothing wrong with wanting to take on the world and do all these fucking things, but there's also steps to take. You know, I think a good example is priorities, but not having a bunch of priorities. So there was one point where I wanted to have the brand. I wanted to do this thing with fucking like dumpsters. Like, you know, like get a bunch of dumpsters and have those run around and like all these different business options. I'm like, yeah, I want all these streams of income. I can do this all. And it was like, well, that's fucking dumb. And then I had to like kind of take a step back and be like, man, and this happened recently because this is the reason I came into this space. I wanted to make RP the priority.
Yeah.
I had to take a step back and I was like, man, I'm trying to spread myself so thin in all these other avenues, which none of them have succeeded yet, truly. But my most passionate thing is Relentless Pursuit. So why don't we just go all in on that?
Balls to the wall.
Put all our time and efforts into that. Eventually,
yeah,
I may get a break on it to where I can dip my toes into other avenues. And I think that, for lack of better words, is realistic. But I think you're just giving yourself some time. You gotta. I think spreading yourself too thin is where you kind of screw up. So you got to be aware of how thin you're spread, and then that's when the whole realistic thing comes in.
You can't have all the answers at once.
That makes sense, Logan? Okay.
You can get a question, but you can't have all the answers immediately.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I think
you're kind of talking about being patient too. It's like go all in, have the not expectation from the standpoint of like, I have no other choice but to win on the things that are important to you, but also be realistic that you can't do everything at once and be patient.
And I'm very impatient.
See, I am too. And I am a short-term satisfaction kind of man, if that makes sense. I like it
Sense gratification.
Yes, there you go. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if I get it immediately, I love it. Hello, everybody. I am William Wiseman, the one and only of Nutrition Factory Mount Juliet. Mainly get on here to let you guys know that we are located at 1730 North Mount Juliet Road. We have the best prices in town. I state by that. And if you come in with a better price, I'll match it. Just give you, we do all types of supplements all the way down to vitamins, protein, pre-workout. I mean, anything you need. Just really come by and see us, and we'll get you taken care of.
Social media?
Oh, yeah, Nutrition Factory Mount Juliet. You can also follow me on my personal. I do a lot of mixing with Nutrition Factory and my personal. My personal is William.Wiseman9. Sorry about that. And then the Nutrition Factory is Nutrition Factory Mount Juliet.
Nice, dude. Good deal. Check him out, man. He's the guy up there. He'll take care of you. So I also want to do an ad for Elite Medical Aesthetics here in Murfreesboro. It's at 567 Cason Lane, Suite C1, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, 37128. This guy does everything, man. It's my dude, Sean Whitfield. He does like my TRT. He does blood work. He does really overall just men's health services. I mean, he'll help you with hair loss treatment,
Yeah.
I know you were just okay.
Nobody needs to know that.
Just all kinds of things. He just did PRP shots, PRP shot in my right knee, which has helped a lot with my recovery. All kinds of wonderful things, peptides, pelvic floor therapy, just things to help you improve your life and be a healthier you. And, you're not going to live forever, but you might as well, live as fully while you can while you're here. You know what I'm saying? So definitely check out Sean. I'll be advertising him more just because he's taking really good care of me and some people I know. So
that's a good little, especially men that I deal with that a lot at the shop at Nutrition Factory, older men looking for that.
Yeah.
Hey, I need that pro hormone, that test booster.
Exactly.
And, that's honestly, I'll take some of those, put in the shop.
Yeah. I'll hand some to you. Hell yeah,
before
Sean.
I leave.
And it's Elite Aesthetics TN. That's on Instagram. You can check him out there and reach out directly, and he'll get you squared away. But, yeah, man, that's just been – dude, running into that guy, he's like 10 minutes away. Yeah. He's been such a game changer for me.
I bet.
He goes, I get blood work a couple times a year. If I got any other issues, like with my knee, he'll, check me out. But he's always got new things he's about to be able to do, hopefully.
You honestly need more of that because, you go to your regular doctor or anything like that, and you're like, hey, I need my levels tested. And they're going to be like, for what? What are you doing?
Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, you're in the low average. You're good."
Yeah, then you're like 300.
That's not good. That's terrible. That's like a fucking 80-year-old man 200 years ago.
I'm trying to be 1,000.
Yeah, exactly.
1,200. Can we bump it up even higher?
But no, this good thing about Sean too. He understands optimal. Understands how men need to be performing optimal.
That's how we run
above average. Yeah, so average these days is bullshit. So definitely a very wonderful resource. People check them out if you're interested. And lastly, Relentless Pursuit. Every time, Relentless Pursuit. We're at Relentless Pursuit headquarters. Relentless _ what is my Instagram? Relentless _ Pursuit on Instagram. But yeah, it's a lifestyle brand. We do everything. We got the podcast. We got the personal training studio. We got the apparel side of things. Definitely check us out. Only greatness, baby. And lastly, I think I said that before Relentless Pursuit, but lastly, we got my man Logan. Logan does videography. He's here recording the podcast, editing the podcast, does a little bit of everything, and he's a very, very valuable asset for us. And I think everybody around him knows how to get your stuff out there, and he's very professional with it. So check him out at Cinema83 LLC on Instagram. We're back. We just did a little bit of an ad read. Obviously he's here recording with me. Sean, yes, I didn't charge him, but he takes really good care of me. But we will be looking for, as the podcast grows, sponsors for ad reads. We're sure to have a lot of views and hits on this. It's just going to keep growing. We've got stellar guests lined up. So this thing's going to get bigger and bigger. Your name's going to get out there even more. So definitely hit me up if you're interested. I'll be making a post on that and everything anyways as well. So that being said, back to Will Wiseman. We were talking about we went through the high school to college phase. We didn't even get through your whole story yet. High school to college,
it's a long story.
We gave some insight about that. Then we talked about just trying everything.
Yeah. Doing everything. Why not?
So you tried school.
Yeah, fuck it.
Fuck it.
Shit was ass.
All right, shit was ass for you. Now, it's not ass for a lot of people, but
No, not ass for a lot of people. I'm not discrediting.
we're not downgrading
Yeah,
it.
not downgrading school, but I'm definitely saying it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Just for the record, one thing that I usually say about that is that it's not that there's not things that you can get out of school.
No, yeah.
The main issue is the ROI, right? The return on your investment, especially if you don't have scholarships and stuff that's paying for it.
True that.
The amount of money that you put into it for the amount of time that it takes for you to pay that off and those kind of things. It's like, I had I don't even have a camera on me. Shouldn't be talking this much. I apologize, audience. The audio,
Very good.
the audio,
No, you're
only,
fine.
the
You
audio,
got a good voice.
The audio only people don't know. But I had this friend, this girl that was going to go to nursing school in Cumberland. And if you don't know anything about that, it's one of the hardest nursing programs there is. If you get a C in that program, you have to restart. Yeah, it's crazy. I knew this server that was like a middle-aged single mom. She got a C like 2 years in, had to restart. It's crazy. She was going to go into that program, and it was going to cost her like, I don't even remember. It was like $30,000 a year.
I'd be threatening people's lives.
That's a car.
I don't know. It was a lot.
$30,000. I can buy a car to take me to work to make more money.
And honestly, that sounds low. That may have been after scholarships and stuff. So, but she was going to have to pay that out of pocket. So the thing about it is that she also wanted really badly to start a hemp business, she wanted to start a hemp business selling not like cannabis necessarily, but just all different kind of hemp products. So I was like, here's just a thought, right? Take that $30,000, go get a loan. Take the $30,000 you were going to get a loan for school, and put it into products. Start an online store. You don't need money for a brick and mortar. You just sell it out of your house.
Yeah.
Hire a photographer to take a picture. Blah 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 blah. Take that $30,000, and then in the same amount of time that it would have taken you to graduate from nursing school, see where that business is at. And then, by the way, you may have graduated, but now you're going to go work 14-hour shifts for 10 years before you pay that loan off. Don't you think you'd probably be in a better position if you would have just gone for the business?
It's a gamble.
That's my thing. If you really want to be a nurse, like we talked about earlier, you have to do that. But if you're considering those two options, it's like be in debt forever,
or gamble it,
or bet on yourself, and you're already committing that money and that time to school. So just be patient with the business. A lot of people, like, they'll go to school for 4, 8, 12 years, and they're cool with that. They hate it, but they're like, I understand that this is what I have to do.
I know people that enjoy school.
Yeah.
One of our athletes, Cody, Cody Endicott, he's a fucking phenomenal coach in bodybuilding stuff, but he loves school. I mean, he's getting paid to go because he's ex-military.
Yeah.
So he's worked that out, which is great. And that's to add on to that too. If you really want to go to school and you don't want to have the debt, go enlist for 4 years.
Get out, and then
you'll grow up a little bit.
Have fun, see the world.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe
the fun aspect. There's ups and downs, a lot of them. But then you can go to school after that, and then you get paid to go, man. It's a beautiful thing. And if you really like it, like Cody, which is crazy to me, props to you, Cody. You're just gonna fucking keep furthering your education and getting.
The last thing I was gonna say on that is just that people have, especially for a 4-year degree at the very minimum, because people come out of that with debt all the time and jobs that they don't. There's like some crazy statistic about how little people actually go into the career that they got their degree in, which is a whole nother conversation. But the point
little
is,
people. Just kidding.
Why can't they be big?
Why little people? Why do they have issues?
That's my bad.
I'm just kidding.
Are they 5'8"? Because if that is, you're taking shots.
Yeah, I was going to say. But basically, my point is that people are willing to go through that, financially and with their time and their energy for 4 to 8 to 12 years. But whenever you tell them to start a business and, hey, it's going to suck and you're not going to make any money and it's going to be blah, blah, blah for 5 to 10 years, it's like, no, they're out on that. But it's like at the end of the 5 to 10 years, you're going to have full ownership over something you love doing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Pocketing cash.
Or after 5 to 10 years, which you're already cool with.
I tell people this all the time. I'm not pocketing shit off of this.
Yeah.
It all goes right back into it.
I mean, that's the way it's got to be, though.
But it's the vision, man.
With the shop.
Well, that's the patience. That's what I'm saying is it's patience. Like, people are willing very easily to go through school and be patient with that.
But they don't have the long-term vision.
But they wouldn't do that for a business is my point. If you told somebody that you're going to have to start from scratch like you do in college, and 4 years from now, like 4 years in college, you'll have your first degree. So 4 years into a business, you might start. Maybe you'll be above the red for the first time. If you told somebody that, they're like, "Fuck no, I'm not starting a business." But they'll go to school for 4 years.
When people also be like, "Man, what if the world like burns down? Like, it's crazy. Why would you go do a brick and mortar?" I'm like, if it gets to that point, we're all fucked. So I'm not really worried about it. We're all in the same boat.
It's funny you say that. I'm a big person on like that. Like my thing is like with money aspect, right? And like I'm happy he touched in on like saying what he was saying about going to school or starting a business. I feel like it's a big, a thing with me about that and being money. Like if I'm going to bust my ass and slave away, and to whatever I'm going to do, even if it's school or like if that's what you want to do or whatever, I'm going to find some sort of like happiness that I'm going to use that money towards. So like with you dumping all your money into Relentless Pursuit, that's what makes you happy. With me, obviously, like, you know, I'm big into cars, and a lot of people are like, well, why are you spending all your money on a car? Well, my thing is, if I die tomorrow, I'm always going to think back to or if I die right now, I could, who knows?
Yeah.
You know, just saying that, like.
Just don't do that, man.
I never, I won't, I promise. I'll be all right.
I think my insurance covers that.
CPR. It's like this. I never want to think like, well, damn, I didn't get that for myself at that moment because I'm worried about like later down the road. Well, what if there's no later down the road?
Yeah.
So why not just do everything you want now?
I'll talk
everything you want now.
It brings you joy too, so like fuck off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
exactly.
That's what makes me happy.
Well, I talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
People talk about retirement and you need to save this much before so you can get to fucking 60 and then just chill.
I might not even make it that far.
Man, just like my accident, I was 28. I almost didn't make it to 29, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it's just like when people talk about age, I think I talked about this last podcast.
You did, and it was a great point because I say the same thing to people all the time.
Yeah, it's something I bring up all the time, but I find it very valuable. And just people need to sometimes, do what you want, but I think it helps people re-gear their mind. Like I said, I almost didn't make it till 29. And so people are like, oh, man, I'm turning 40 next year. I'm turning 30. Don't remind me. That fucking sucks. And I'm like, man, that's a blessing, dude. Like, a lot of people don't make it. Every year, the less likely your chances are to be alive. So why the fuck wouldn't that be exciting? Like I turned 33 next year and I'm like, hell yeah, I made it to 33. When I turned 40, I'm gonna be like, fuck yeah, dude. I made it like halfway, which well, we'll see.
Longer than I expected.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? So I think you should look at it as a fucking blessing, but it touches on that same point, embrace every year that passes because you might not get a chance, but also don't fucking wait on everything you love just because you might be able to acquire that one day down the road because that time never fucking may happen.
See, and that's a big thing to me because like I always like, especially talking to my friends or like anybody, like, even if I was talking to you and we're sitting here debating like, man, should I do this right now? Should I wait? Should I get it? Well, bro, what's the point of waiting? Because you might not have that much in you.
Yeah.
I mean, tomorrow could be it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's times, like we talked about the word I hate, realistic.
There's certain things, there's long-term goals and there's short-term goals, so like obviously with your long-term goals, you're going to have to wait for that. But as long as you're taking course of action now for that long-term goal, it's inevitable that it's going to happen if you keep that mindset. So that's what I'm saying is like, just make sure, like, if you're going to do anything or there's something you want to do, like, even to, like, making that first move to your lover or something like that, like, just fucking do it.
Yeah, just do it.
Why the fuck not?
Just do it.
You might. I mean, shit.
You remember Dakota that I lived with before. He's a little bit older than me, and he had that attitude every time he turned, like, it was his birthday. Like, I would be all hype and stuff, and he just wasn't because he didn't feel like it was anything to celebrate. And I would
celebrating life, dude.
I would just actively push back on him, and I'd be like,
"Dude, the coolest shit.
It's your birthday. You made it another year. Like, for one thing, if you want to go deep with it, it's straight up disrespectful to people who didn't make it to that age. Like, for you, for example, you had your accident. So what if you would have died? And your perspective on it now is like, oh, I made it to another year. That's great. Because partly at least because of that accident. So you could take the stance. I know this isn't how you are, but you could take the stance of whenever somebody says that, like, bro, that's super disrespectful. Like, I almost didn't.
I'm offended.
Please.
I'm offended.
You're
upset about your birthday.
Of course.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to take it that far, but you get what I'm saying.
This knuckle sandwich, hot and ready.
You get what I'm saying? That's kind of like.
No, yeah, I definitely agree.
It's a weird thing to like complain about that you're still alive.
I'm not complaining because birthday time, I'm getting litty like a titty. I mean,
you're what?
I'm getting litty like a titty. We turn it up.
Hell yeah.
I'm ready for that. I don't go
too crazy on my birthday. I just want to fucking
Everybody's
chill.
like, sweet 16, sweet. It's sweet every year for me. We're getting fucking down every age I turn.
Hey, I want to throw something in there to you real quick. So with birthdays, have you ever thought about that whenever you turn an age, that's actually you completing that age? It's not that you, like when I turned 27, that means I've been alive for 27 years. Which, you know what I'm saying? It's not that I'm working on my 27th year, I've just completed my 27th year. Because when you're 0 to 1, right, you turn 1 at the end of your first year.
Yeah.
So, like, people don't think about it like that. And I said that to me and my girlfriend's, like, couple friends who has a kid, and she was freaking out. Because she's calling her, like, 1 or 2. And I was like, yeah, she's already 1. Like, if she's 1 1/4, she's like, working on her second year, not her first year, and it blew her mind.
It's kind of, I mean, that's kind of interesting. It's kind of like prestiging in life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Earning
It's kind of
your
like,
stripes.
I think we were talking about that.
It goes back to what we were saying, like you hit that age and it's like you made it there. It's like you just completed. If you think about it like that, it's like when I turned 27, it's like congratulations, you just completed level 27. Now you're working on level 28.
It's like when I got out of the military, I didn't retire, but I completed 6 years. You know, I wasn't like my 6th year, I wasn't done. I still had to get through that 6th year.
I mean, fuck, I'm 25. I made 25 years. I completed 25 years.
Yeah.
I mean, where's my bonus? That's what I'm looking for. You see what I'm saying? No, it's funny because like you saying that with like completing the ages, I feel like we've discussed like that old soul and new soul, like, you know, especially when it comes to like, like religion stuff like that, like, with the completion, like if you're an old soul or young soul, if you're an old soul, like, I mean, if you died at 26, but that old soul has finally reached its completion, that means he's moving to that next level. And then the young soul is going to continue the longest because he hasn't yet completed that. Like we're pretty sure we were talking about that shop. A buddy of mine, my old boss at the car wash.
Yeah.
That was good times. Joseph, he used to, shout out to him. He was super knowledgeable, but he used to always talk to me about that because, like, you know, religion is obviously a sensitive subject for everyone. But saying that is like, he always believed that when he dies, if he hasn't completed his journey yet, he's going to come back.
Reincarnation.
Reincarnation and and that's why we have deja vu is what he'd say. Is like you're remembering something you've already done and you're trying to like, okay, this is trippy. What if when you're a baby, right? So you're a baby. Mm-hmm. You have all those memories from your past life and you're always crying all the time because you're trying to tell people who you are.
Dude, that's weird.
But you can't because you ain't learned how to talk yet.
You're like, listen to me.
Like,
and everybody's just like, oh, God,
I've been here, I've done this. Like, but no, you're crying.
Everybody just
like,
thinks you're hungry.
Dude, I mean, and then as age and your brain matures, you forget.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I have heard that before.
Dude,
I've got memory loss like a motherfucker. So, I mean, I probably did.
But they're basically just saying, like, kids forget things up until, like, 5.
Yeah.
So, like, by the time you learn how to talk, you forget.
You forget your past life. I'm not, I'm very.
And I also believe I do believe in reincarnation. I believe in, spiritual ascension. And it's also becoming fully devoted to whatever God may be to you. For me, it's like Krishna consciousness, right? And so Krishna is like the God overall. Yep. Same thing for like Christians, like the creator. That is that. So, but becoming fully detached from the material world, which is a tough thing to do, especially in the age we're in. Becoming fully detached to that and fully spiritually devoted, that's like the path to true ascension. Yeah. But it's not the easiest thing to acquire. So we come back and come back and come back. I think now there's a belief system like, say you're a terrible person and you live a terrible fucking life. You don't come at, like, the highest you can come back is as a human. Now there's like different, there's humans that have like born into shit, or humans that are born into like really maybe wealthy or very just loving families or whatnot. So the better you're born into is like, that means your past life was like virtuous and whatnot. So the shitty you are, say you live like you're a pedophile, you come back as a fucking fly. Oh, shit, you know what I'm saying? And you start from like the lowest of the totem pole. So to come back as a human, period, is like a positive thing. Is a
good achievement.
Yeah, but then like the higher of that. So it's kind of cool to think about because, my belief is that the soul never changes. The soul is eternal. Mm-hmm. But it's like connecting with that spirit soul and understanding that and gaining consciousness. But it's not, something I focus on every day. I do my chants and whatnot. But it's just such the world we're in, man. This is the Kali Yuga, so we're at like the end times, and there's no natural way. It's pretty chaotic. So trying to really grasp that and detach is a pretty tough.
I'm definitely like, if I die and I don't come back as a grizzly bear, that'd be pretty disappointing. I mean, I'm just gonna say that right now. I think it'd be pretty sick to just.
See, I want to die and not come back. I want to ascend.
I mean, yeah, that's the ultimate goal. Ideally, that's the ultimate goal, right? Wherever you're going to go, wherever I'm going to go, wherever Logan's going to go, it's all the key where a lot of people miss and being super stuck up and super hypocritical or anything with religion is that a word, and it's called faith.
Yes.
A lot of people don't understand that faith is what, that's a key word. Like it's your faith That's
not theirs.
Not theirs. See, and that's
I read a quote the other day. I'm gonna bring it up. It's like one of my favorites. I hate having my phone out, but it's important because it talks about this and exactly what we're talking about. Let's see. I screenshotted it while my homie was in town. Where you at, dude? Where you at? I'm gonna find it.
But saying that, believe it or not, I am a Christian. And a lot of people hear my thoughts and like the way I believe. I'm like, well, man, isn't it a sin to doubt?
A lot of people think Christians, for some reason, you can't be open-minded as a Christian. It's like, no, there's one way or the highway.
Yeah,
you're burning in hell. And
no,
it's just like,
see, yeah.
Well, that's kind of heartless, I believe. But two, it's just like everybody's got their way to connect to God. I've been Christian before, man. Like people have been like, maybe you're just searching. I'm not searching, man. I've found who I am. Like, the growth is constant.
And honestly, like you say that, that's good you say that. There's a lot of Christian that push and go to church every Sunday, Wednesday night, or shit. I know churches that do Saturday night, but saying that and still ain't found themselves.
What are you doing away from that?
They're still questioning.
What are you doing away from church? And that comes from people of all spiritualities. They're self-proclaimed, whatever they are. And yet they want to tell you they're wrong. And I read the quote is, I remember it. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
It's there are many paths. I don't know who quoted this. I read it and said it was like a Hindu proverb. I don't know because I read it. That's what I'm studying now, and it's just like, but it said there are many paths to the top of the mountain, but the only one wasting time is the one going around the mountain telling everybody else they're going the wrong direction.
I've actually read that,
and I was like, fucking A, man. And that's a good point. Mind your business. I'm happy. My heart is, I'm not going to say pure. I'm like, but I'm doing the best I fucking can. I'm trying to be good. And like, this is what keeps me pushing to be better, which pushes me towards ascension. You've got your path towards it. I don't care if that's what makes you happy and makes you a good person and like how you want to live.
Morals. It's about that. I think that's where it comes down to.
Most spiritualities have the same morals.
Code. Yeah, as long as you have good morals as a human being and you're doing what is the best, or like anything, like if you're just doing what's right. Yeah, I feel like that's all that matters. Like a lot of people, like you said, like, oh, you're gonna fucking burn in hell, because you think a certain way. I'm like, man, for what? Like a lot of people could look at you, especially, and like, man, what the fuck? What you believe in is stupid. You're gonna burn in hell because that. But like, why? You're a great person. I mean, you've always done phenomenal by me. So that's my thing. Like, why should you burn in hell?
That's the idea that
you see what I'm saying.
Constructive religion has also taught that paganism is like the devil and it's evil. And it's like, well, first of all, paganism's been there since the beginning of time. So there is that aspect. And whether you want to believe it or not, your ancestors once were pagan.
I mean, either or.
So there's that. But it's also like, God, for a prime example, what was I going to say? You keep going.
It's kind of, and this is like I said, I'm a Christian. Let's remember that. I'm just really open-minded to what I speak. Because, I mean, some people might hear this, might be at my fucking throat. I mean, if they are, I could care less. But being a Christian is sold. It's sold to us every day. Yeah. It's on our dollar bills. It's everywhere we go. So saying that a lot of people don't ever get a chance to be open-minded and try to find something on their own like you have. Yeah. And it kind of can, because it's frowned upon. It's frowned upon. It's frowned upon everywhere. You try to think outside of the block. There you go. That's a good point. You think outside of the box, they're like, yo, you better get back in that fucking box. You see what I'm saying? But
that's where conviction comes into play.
Yeah.
Stand by your convictions. Yeah. And I will. I've told multiple people, like, you could have a gun to my head, finger on the trigger, tell me to change my mind and who I am, and I will be damned.
Pull it.
Pull that trigger, baby.
Pull it, pussy. I ain't scared.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, and I think it's very important. It's really cool, the relationship my girlfriend and I have. So every morning, I got my routine. I get up a little bit before her. I go to my altar. I meditate, do my chants. I practice my cello a little bit. I get downstairs. We drink coffee, read, and then I do cardio or whatever. But during that reading time, she's reading something biblical. I'm reading something from my spiritual text. Like right now she's reading this one-year Bible thing. I'm reading the Bhagavad Gita. Mm-hmm. Two totally different paths.
That sounds kind of hot.
Yeah,
had a good ring to it.
Yeah, the Gita, baby. But it's a beautiful thing though, because we're sitting there on the couch drinking our coffee. We got our fucking pets, and it's just a peaceful way to start the day. I'm reading stuff, and like she doesn't really bring up a whole lot of points as much, just because like I'm well read with the Bible as well.
Yeah.
But she doesn't understand much about mine, and she wants to learn just to understand me more.
Yeah.
So like I'm always bringing up points. I'm like, oh, this says this right here. Like this is pretty cool. And she'll be like, okay, yeah. And then so it's cool because she's true to her beliefs, yet I am mine. But we grow together, man. Having different beliefs. And like to some people, they think that's just fucking absurd.
Yeah, like,
how
do you do that?
This isn't going to work once you have kids. And it's like, nah, man, our kids are going to be open-minded like this too. You know, they're going to like.
But it should be like that.
I don't think spirituality should be forced upon anybody. I think the values and the morals should be something that should be a standard held up. But as far as like what you believe into your core, man, I think that's going to come to you. And, you know, because at the end of the day, me and her have the same values. We have the same morals. Like we want the same thing. Like we talk about having children. We want to raise them the exact same way.
Yeah.
I mean, literally everything is on point. We just have a different spiritual fucking belief.
But I mean, that doesn't define you. What you believe in doesn't define you. Like, that's my thing. Exactly. Like, that's why people, I feel like, is a big deal, like, on judging, because I'm like, what does it bother me that you believe in what you believe in? I'm still going to go home. I'm going to take me a nice shower, you know, lay in bed and go fuck to sleep. What does it have to do? Like, what you believe in doesn't change in my outlook of life. And I feel like that's where people fuck up a lot because they're always, like, going to be on other people's back about what they believe in. Well, like, man, if you don't fucking change your belief before you die, dude, I'm just going to let you know you're going to go to hell. Like,
I love having this talk. I love the spiritual talks, man, because I think this is...
Well, a lot of people discuss with me and, like, want to discuss that topic, especially when we get to drinking. It's always fun because I'm a huge believer and, like, I love talking about space, all that shit. It's cool. It's interesting. I mean... Yeah, no.
You saw that telescope pictures?
Yeah, dude, that shit's insane. It's dope as fuck. And a lot of people, like, you know, speaking on that, like, with the ocean... Like, even that is crazy because, like, 70% of that is undiscovered. Like,
we know more about the space than we do the ocean.
Yeah. No, there could be fucking...
I mean, maybe not in the grand scheme, but, like...
Nessie could be down there. Okay, just think about it like this. The pressure that it would take to get all the way down to the bottom of the ocean is fucking... You know it's pitch black down there?
Yeah, dude.
That's fucking insane. But
you got that fucking fish with the...
Yeah.
light?
Finding Nemo, motherfucker, trying to get Dory and shit.
Out, dude. I see pictures of that, and I'm like...
But, I mean, saying that is just, like, one of those things, like... A lot of people will come at me and like, well, dude, are you really a Christian? Because you're kind of doubting it. And I'm like, I'm not doubting it. I'll just take their ideas and what they believe in into consideration because why not? They at least deserve that. Everybody deserves a chance in speaking on what they believe in. And now I could disagree with what you believe, and that's fine. We can have disagreements.
Doesn't bother me.
You ain't got to go fucking...
It was the same thing as like
throw
sexual...
a brick through my house.
We won't talk about this right now, but same thing as like sexual orientations and different stuff like that. You know, very touchy subjects today. You know, just because I don't agree with certain things that people do doesn't mean I'll fucking hate them and I'm not going to attack them.
I'm going to kill them.
Yeah, it's just like, do your thing, man. Like,
do whatever you want.
I don't agree with it. You don't got to like shove it down my throat. I'm not condemning you.
That's with everything, man. You
I just think that's not me, and that's okay. We should all stick to who we are.
We live in a time now, like where you have to literally, like, man, can I say that? Like, you have to process as I'm speaking. I'm processing words. Can I say this? Can I say that? And like where it used to be, I mean, you say whatever the fuck you want. Well, at the end of the day, I can do that anyways because nobody can tell me we're in America, baby.
Yeah,
that's also one of the benefits of being a self-made individual.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want.
I don't have fucking. I gotta go to work one day and have like my boss being like, "We heard what you said on the internets. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're fired." You know, fuck you, dude.
One thing I was gonna say.
Kiss my ass.
Yeah,
we got about 5 minutes before we'll have to take another break, but on the religion topic because that whole thing is super fascinating to me too.
Oh, we'll talk. This will be one of those that we talk about a lot.
I love talking about it.
I was having a conversation very recently with somebody about this, and basically talking about anxiety and just these different things that I deal with, and essentially, among other things, but one of the big things she ended up saying was like, honestly, like, I think you need Jesus in your life. And so we started, which she was coming from a good place, but it's hard not to eye roll whenever somebody says it like that. But point being is that we ended up having a conversation about it, and one thing that she said that I thought about whenever you guys were talking that I'd like for you to touch on is she basically was like, not even basically, she said, you know, what do you have to lose? She was like, I mean, if you basically, isn't it worth your salvation? Isn't it worth going to heaven or not going to hell to like give it a shot, essentially? And my response to that was, I don't think that believing based on, you know, fear, like, well, I better believe in this so I don't go to hell.
Well, personally, and just to come back to me, reincarnation into something lower is hell. You
Yeah,
come
I mean,
back
why the
into
fuck
something lower, some lower
Yeah, I hear
being.
you.
That is hell.
Yeah.
The
That
goal is
fucking
to
sucks.
escape eventually.
Well, and even that, I even said to her, like, well, I'd even question the hell thing as far as like how easy is that to get people to believe in what you need if you
Yeah.
basically say, hey, you'll burn for eternity if you don't.
It's fucked up.
And
It's
and so
being sold.
yeah. Oh, and that's what I'm. And well, I don't know who it was, but I heard somebody break it down as like if you think about it back in the day when there wasn't a lot of people, and you're in your little tribe, and there's this one guy in a tent over here, and a couple people come out, and you're like, what's going on over there? And you go over there, he's like, come into my tent, and you're like, well, what are you doing? And he's basically like explains to you Christianity. He's like, essentially says, you basically need to come in my tent and listen to what I have to say, or you're gonna burn in
Or you're
eternity.
gonna burn in hell.
That's kind of shitty. And
You're
you think
gonna
about
die.
it too. a good thing for people.
What is a person going to say? What is a person going to do? They don't know any better. They're like,
They're gonna follow.
Okay, so I mean, it's easy to see how that could be a steroid shot into getting that faith going. But my point being in saying that is that I think that a lot of times it's maybe different versions, but I don't believe ever in faith based on fear. And essentially, the other thing I said to her too, and I'll turn it back over to you, is I was basically like, look, the ask on faith side or on religion side is your mind, body, soul during your life and for eternity. That's like the side of their negotiation.
Yeah.
Right? That's what they ask for. And I'm not even allowed to know exactly how it works and what, if heaven and hell is real, and if the stories I'm being told are the actual word of God or just,
We might not even be real.
you know what I'm saying? So I think it's a, I
We're
think-
just material. I think we're
and, like,
real. I think we're just.
You were talking about questions earlier, and I was saying to her, like,
That's a sin.
a lot of people approach it that way versus how you should approach it, which is this is a path to find your way back to God stronger, because if I can help you through your doubts, you'll believe even more. That's how you should approach it instead of shutting it down, because when you shut it down, it seems sketchy. It's like, why can't I know?
Why can't I question this? Well, it's what's the time on that?
You got about a minute and a half.
All right, so I'll say this.
We're going to cut it right back on. We don't have an ad read or anything. but-
Real quick. So yeah, I'm gonna run out to the car real quick. I had a lady come in the shop. I have this tattoo that says "Wolves Among Sheep," right? And she came in the shop and she was like, "Oh man, that's an interesting tattoo. You're like, you're the sheep, and the Lord is our shepherd." And I was like, "Whoa, baby girl,
You got it all wrong.
You got it all fucking wrong. I'm the wolf, and I'm eating all you motherfuckers that talk like this.
Yeah.
Like that. That is the way." And she almost shit a brick when I said that. I didn't directly say it to her like that, but I was just like, listen, ma'am, you need to understand that I'm not the sheep.
Yeah. I mean, I feel you. And real quick, how much longer we got? All right. And I will say, it reminds me of this time I was on a plane, right? I was on this flight, and I sat next to this older lady, really sweet. We were just talking about life and stuff like that. I had my beliefs correct. And like, we're getting off the plane. She's like, it's just nice to sit down and talk to a nice young Christian man. And I'm like, see? And we go back to morals and values.
Yeah.
She would have never known a difference. But hell, if I would have told her I was pagan, she might have thought totally different than me.
She thought you were the
Different of me. But
You should have told her at that point.
I did. And I was just like, I let it usually, I mean, I don't care to like voice it unless we're talking in conversation like this. But I was just like, well,
I think it's
yes,
interesting.
ma'am,
But
but
it's dope. It's cool.
I do too. And
Yeah.
to what you said earlier, the biggest thing has always been for me, the biggest thing with him has always been, with Joe, has always been that his beliefs make him better. He's one of the most generous people, one of the most kind people that I know. So why the fuck do I care what makes him that way?
I mean,
amen. All right. Cutting a break though, real quick.
she's an Aries, I guess, and I guess my
That's
sign-
why we click so
Yeah.
well. I'm an Aries.
Yeah, I'm a Sagittarius.
Nice.
So I guess Aries and Sagittarius get along really well. That's
Yeah.
what the zodiac sign says.
It makes sense. I mean, we conversate really well. You're a Libra? Oh yeah.
Well, I'm actually a cusp, is what they say. I'm the day.
See, I don't believe in that.
I don't either.
I think it's one or the other. Like the
Because,
cusp
like-
thing is made up.
But there are some things I see with that. Like, like sometimes I read some shit on the Sagittarius stuff. I'm like, that ain't fucking me, dude. And then I read Scorpio stuff. And I'm like, ah.
I think we all have some different traits.
Yeah.
Well, no, you know what it is. So, with the deeper you get in astrology, there's an app called CoStar. Download it. You can add friends and shit, but you put in like where you were born, the date, the time. You need to know the exact time because that plays into effect. So you have your sun. Your sun sign is what your main sign is. So you're predominantly a Sagittarius.
Yeah.
I am an Aries. But my moon, my ascendant and my moon, which are the other main ones, now has all the planets, but your ascendant and moon are very important too. They're both Virgo. So I have a shit ton of Virgo-like traits. So your moon and your ascendant are probably maybe even you know, something else. So it's something I would look into. I'll get you the app, CoStar, like get your mom, hey, what time was I born, where, all this shit. I mean, you obviously know where you're born, but it'll help you hone in on it, and you're like, fuck, dude. And you can go deeper into it, because cool thing about astrology is a lot of people discredit it, and I understand why, because it's just turned into like a better words, like basic white girl memes. Oh my God, I'm such an Aries. I didn't have coffee, and I punched a hole in the wall.
Have
it's
you
like
been seeing the
that's
new
not
ones, the little Miss ones?
Oh yeah,
Dude.
those are kind of funny. I thought
that was the dumbest shit.
So
I'm gonna do little misters.
Oh my God, dude! Shout out to my boy Zach Blondie, my buddy Blondie, man.
Blondie is a fool.
Blondie,
That's my guy.
He's a fucking animal. He made one, and oh my God, I mean, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. It said, "Little Miss, I'm a stupid dumb fucking bitch."
Jesus.
He posted on his Instagram story, and I was like, "Damn, son."
He's out for blood, dude.
I was like, "Damn."
You know what? You know how many girls went in his DMs because of that?
Oh yeah, no, his shit was on fire.
Yeah, and then it caused
like,
an argument. Next thing you know, they're hanging out. He's like, "Well, I don't know if he's got a girl."
Nah, yeah, he does.
Oh shit, my bad.
He's extra locked up.
10
years
deep.
My bad. Not
10
trying to throw
years.
you under the
10 years
bus.
deep.
Nah, 10 years deep. His lady Katie, she's super sweet too. I mean, Blondie's like my brother. He's family to me.
You're probably just trolling people.
I mean, no, yeah, he was. And
I love just trolling
It's fucking hilarious. I shared it to my story. I pussed out. I shared it to my story from his story, and I was like, oh, fuck. I low-key have Nutrition Factory people that follow me on this. Last thing I need is them motherfuckers coming in the store and be like, I'm a stupid fucking bitch. I'm like, no, it's just a meme. It's just it's a joke.
I try to, with this, it's a lot more freedom in the podcast, honestly. And like, it's mine, one. Now, I don't get really too into like political shit.
No.
I like politics anyways. I think we should just wipe the slate clean, but that's just me.
Burn it down.
Yeah, but so I don't really talk about politics anyways, and that's something everybody just cries about.
Yeah.
But you know, we do talk about a lot of things that probably are controversial that some followers may be like, I don't know if I want to be on board with that, which is fine.
They ran another one. All right, this one's a little touchy too. It's a little touchy, Mike, for the viewers, but it was Little Miss OnlyFans. Oh, and I was like, ooh. That's a hot topic. Hot one. And I thought that one was funny too.
That is pretty funny.
I mean, it's a fucking joke, man. If you can't take the fucking joke, then one, don't listen to it.
Yeah.
Plug your ears.
When also they
own it.
They started it, and just because somebody else is posting one that they think is funny.
Yeah, well, I got hit with men ruin everything. I was like, well, because we're funny. You guys aren't.
We just take things to another level.
Yeah.
My bad.
We like to spike that shit up.
You know what's funny? This reminds me, I was talking to Mathlete Alexa, and she wants to do a podcast in here sometimes, like talking about like fuck boys and shit. And I was like,
funny.
I was like, that's great.
Yeah.
And then, you know, but have like female, and then having me kind of like Logan, like in here, just like giving my 2 cents, translating and shit. Although, honestly, I don't know what half the guys are talking about these days.
Well, do you see,
I wouldn't be able to translate some of it, dude. I'm just
see,
like a traditional guy.
That would give us. We would have a different approach for it. We would be able to come, for one thing, from guys in relationships, but also because we're in a relationship, like we can kind of say whatever. It's like, well, this is what I actually think, because you're not risking like, you got like, you know,
you're already secured. You're locked in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you got like 3 side chicks,
your cookies at home.
If you got 3 side chicks and you're on the podcast talking about how you hate this, that, and the other that they do, well, you're like, oh well, fuck, I can't say that. But like when you're in a relationship, and if they say, well, I hate when guys do this, it's like, well, just for the record, this is why.
I mean, have you Andrew Tate? This motherfucker,
bro.
No idea who that is.
Dude, oh my God, Joe.
He hasn't dominated your algorithm yet, bro.
Dude, you got to get up on that. He is asserting male dominance back into the newer generation. Apparently, is what he's trying to do. I mean, this dude is fucking. Bro, he's ruthless. I mean, he says some wild shit. There's some things he says that I'm like, okay, you know, I kind of agree with this. But then there's other things he says that I'm like, that is completely disrespectful. But, I mean, he is, he's pretty much targeting fuckboys or, you know, like the weaker men.
For real, no cap.
For real, no cap.
I know that's a fuckboy saying. That's what they say.
So he's pretty much just teaching them how to get women. But it's in the most, like, bro, I'm pretty sure there was one on there that who's like, when I go home, my bitch is doing the dishes. Like, I mean, he's just straight cutthroat. I mean, bro, you got to listen to him.
I'm different on that, man. Like, I do believe in like traditional roles.
Yeah.
My woman agrees. Like, you know, she's because kind of a dominant female, but she's also understands. Like she said this at the airport one time because we were talking to this couple because our flight was delayed, and they were talking about, well, what about like who's the alpha? And she's like, oh, he is, and I respect that. And I was like, fuck yeah, but I don't disrespect her. If she's had a long day or she's down or whatever.
So
like,
that's kind of how Andrew Tate is kind of pushing it. It's like you have like, which I agree with this. There's a lot of beta males, and they're just like, they've lost their fucking kill. You know, like we have our kill. Like we're the alpha. Like
which is our genetic nature.
That's how we are. We're men. You know, and then like what he's trying to point out, Tate is trying to point out, is like these beta males have let women come in and say, you know, okay, like, well, maybe she'll let me, you know, have sex with her tonight, or maybe she'll let me take her on a date. Like that's what he's trying to target. Like, no,
well, even different stuff. Like
take that shit. Like
maybe she'll let me hang out with my guys, or maybe she'll let me go get a beer or watch the game.
That's a good point.
You know, like they feel like they have to have permission and stuff. And I think that's pretty lame. Like it's like,
like I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. Yeah, I mean, get on board or get off.
My girl's dope, so I like having her along for everything. Like she'll come kick it with me because she's like a best friend. So I don't have to. I can talk to her about everything just like I would my friends.
That's how it should be, and
it's never uncomfortable.
But that's what he's trying to say. Tate is trying to say is like you need to assert your alpha maleness into your relationship, and there needs to be boundaries. Like you shouldn't let so and so run over you, or et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Which there's a line between that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you said, traditional roles. Like if I'm gonna go to work all day, and you're gonna hang out at the crib, I mean laundry. Food, dishes, at least do something productive. So when I get home or, it's done. Like, I'm not going to slave away all day for you to sit at home and paint your fucking fingernails.
Yeah, my girl, she's got a career. Like, she's got a job right now, and then she's also pursuing real estate. So
nice.
she's like,
but
she's fucking, her plate's high, you know what I'm saying? Because she's trying to, like, learn and start getting into that, but also, like, emails and meetings constantly and shit. And, I acknowledge those things. It's one thing, I guess, if I was out working all day and then she's just home. Oh, shit. Did you hear that? There's a weird connection right there. Oh, my God. We're in the upside down. We're in the upside down. It's Vecna.
Fuck it.
It's Vecma.
I didn't hear anything.
Oh, I don't know. It just did some weird skip. Maybe I was tripping. But
you're making, I mean, that's.
But she's at home all day, and like if we have established that, all right, you take care of the homestead.
Yeah.
That's a little different. But, like, I don't come home expecting X, Y, and Z to always be done. Now, she does because she is a traditional woman. She cooks different dinner for me every night. Like, I love that shit. But, yesterday she was out doing some real estate stuff, and I got home from running errands, and I had a little bit window before I had to get back over here. I was like, all right, dude, I'm gonna put the dishes up. I'm going to load the dishwasher, wipe the counters off. I got all the laundry. I folded it. I hung stuff up. That way, and I picked up around the house. That way she got home. It's just easy going. And she was able to just kind of chill and not have to stress about those fucking things.
Yeah.
And then, but that night we got back from the gym. We trained, and then, she cooked me dinner. I just kind of kicked back.
Oh, yeah.
It was nice, dude. But I think it's just mutual respect. But, like, some guys.
You saying the expectation thing. It's not an expectation thing. You or your lover should want to do that for the other part. Like if I'm, slaving, like, or if she, say, my lover in aspect, she's out slaving away, working all day. I want her, and if I'm home, say I'm house bitch. I'm not saying, term. That's what I would call myself if I was at that.
You were doing so good. And then you had to throw in the house bitch.
Well, as
hashtag.
me, as me, not saying the woman would be a house bitch, but as me, I'm fine with saying that. Like, it's a joke. It's not fucking. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, you're referring to yourself.
Yeah, I'm just messing. I'm referring to myself.
Yeah.
But saying that, like, I want shit done. Like, when she comes home, like, she should be able to kick her feet out. She's out fucking working all day, making the bread. She should come home and be able to relax. I should have shit done.
Dude, for sure, man.
It's mutual respect.
It's just respect. It's respect. I feel like if you, like, it's disrespectful if I'm out busting my fucking ass all day and I come home and shit's dirty as fuck. You've been watching fucking Netflix, watching.
I know people that have been in that. I've been in that boat years and years ago. I was in a similar boat, I'd like, a girl at the time she lost her job, and I was in the military too. So I'd work all fucking day, and then I'd get bitched out about how I left a dirty fork in the sink because I was on a rush to go to work. And I'm like, I've been slaving away on the flight line all day, and here I am washing this same fork after a 12-hour shift because it displeased you. Like, get the fuck
I
out of
ain't
here.
got fucking time for that shit.
Yeah.
Like, and
Like, cut
that's
me some
where,
slack.
and that resorts right back to Andrew Tate. This is what he's trying to show the younger generation.
Maybe he's just going about it.
Well,
he is himself.
Yeah.
But he really just doesn't. He doesn't.
I'm not bashing the guy by all means. I'll watch him.
He's
Fucking keep it up.
100% himself, no matter what conversation he's having, no matter who he's talking to. So like that, you see some people play a character and they play it up a little bit more or less depending on. He's just like 1,000% Andrew.
Yeah.
Like,
He's just
in
authentic.
your face all the time.
He's just in your
And he does
down
say
your
some
throat.
stuff. Like one of the ones that I heard him say that was a little like, oh my god, bro, and was like. And they were saying this is his origins, his villain origin story. But like some girl basically, whenever he was kickboxing, basically was talking to David Hay, which was like a heavyweight champion at the time. And essentially she came to him and, disclosed this information. He found out about it, whatever. And he said that from his perspective, he was like, I've already lost this scenario. Like if she wants to be with him, there's nothing I can really do about it. He was really young at that time. And he was like basically trying to convince her to like fuck him for money. And his brother was like, why did you do that? And he's like, well, if I'm going to lose her anyway, I might as well make some money off of her. And he said,
Jesus.
And he said something similar too about his girl. Maybe it was OnlyFans or something like that. But essentially the point of that one that I thought was crazy is he was like, yeah, I don't care if she does OnlyFans. I mean, especially, first of all, she's making money. She's bringing in money. That's great. I'm going to have all of it. And the guy, he was like, what do you mean you're going to have all of it? He's like, well, she's mine. So whatever money she brings in is my money.
Yeah.
So like she can do it, but she's gonna be making me money. And then the guy was like, "She's yours," and he's like, "Yeah, she's my property. So if she's making money with my property, then that's my money."
He hits that property word. That's just sensitive.
Yeah.
Oof.
But
he be saying some.
But real quick, just to go back to the positive side and just to build on what you were saying, I think one of the big things that he does that's good, aside from all that other stuff, is he. It's also, like you said, the traditional roles. Like one of the examples that he's given in a couple different interviews that I like, and he has one interview where he's talking to like a pink-haired, super left liberal.
Oh, the streamer. He plays video games.
It was a really good conversation.
I saw that one
actually, because the guy that was super far left actually brought up stuff that's like, okay, let's see what Tate says about this. But anyways, his point is like traditional gender roles is almost like redundant to even say that. And one of the examples he gives is like if somebody breaks into your house. You're sitting there with your wife. Who goes downstairs? Me. But he basically poses this question to people that believe that like there is no difference between men and women.
Use the wife. Some guys would probably use their wife as a shield. Like, all right.
And that's what Tate's trying to weed out.
Yeah.
Oh, weak ass motherfuckers.
He's trying to point out in a situation like that, men are needed. If a war happens, men are needed. If something needs to be fixed in the road out here,
but men need to actually be strong and sure of themselves. I think is a big thing too.
No more.
No, and
do you know Jordan Peterson?
Oh yeah,
I love Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, dude, he talks about the same thing about how strong men are needed and how hard men, or just men in general, aren't basically appreciated. But he talks about the stuff. They talk about different things where there's inequality, right? And he talks about, well, okay, how about the fact that most of the people in jail are men, most of the people that go to war are men, most of the people that work in manual labor are men, most of the people who, and he just goes through all this stuff, and it's like
suicide.
So yeah, suicide is the biggest.
These are facts.
Men. So
his
point is like, it's just to try to make the argument that there's not. It's just ridiculous.
I mean, it's not as divided as it seems. And another thing is too, like we talked about, being strong, being sure, being someone that's confident, someone that's trustworthy. A lot of men think, oh, I need to ask my wife for permission to do this and do that, and it's just like, no, you should. I mean, obviously, there's certain things that you should have a conversation with your significant other about. But you should be the kind of man that your woman trusts. It's like, hey, I've got to make a decision. Just trust me as your man to make the right decision.
I think
you know what I'm saying?
I think it's more of like, I'm not like stating on that what you just said of like, oh well, I gotta ask my lady to see if I can do this. I think it's more of a negotiation tactic,
or just be like, hey, this is what's going on.
I think I'm gonna propose it. I'm gonna throw it out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, I'm doing this, and then read the reaction, and if the reaction's rough, I'm like, hey, well, let's take it back a little bit.
But if they love you and they trust you, they're gonna be like,
they're gonna be fine. That's how you know. You should never have negative like animosity towards each other about doing anything. Like if you're like with Andrew Tate, like he makes a point of girls going out to clubs, and he's like, well, a girl ain't gonna go out to a club without me because that just gives a chance for a dude to hit on her. Well, my thing is, me personally, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You want to go out to a club by yourself with your girls, do your thing. Because at the end of the day, you're coming home to bed with me.
Yeah.
And, like, honestly, I have confidence and security in myself that there ain't gonna be another man that matches me, but that's what makes me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm just glad my woman don't like clubs.
I mean, yeah. No, yeah.
She's like, when would we go to a club not together? And I'm like, that's cool. But like, we don't go to clubs.
Yeah.
To your point, that's confident. Like you were saying, it's confidence.
Yeah, it's just confidence.
But like if you let your girl go out like that and a guy does come up and hit on her and she
bites on it,
gives him attention, well,
she ain't the one.
You don't care about that anyway because it's like, okay, well, you showed your colors, cool. Next.
Yeah, that's deuce out, on to the next.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. And also, I think the only thing with me in scenarios like that, just because we are in a crazy world and a fucked up world, I mean, hell, a lady just picked up a $1 bill recently and that was laced with fentanyl and ended up in the hospital. Shit. So I'm not necessarily like, oh man, I don't want my woman going out or anything.
Just be careful.
We have similar interests anyways with like how we spend our free time, but it's really just be careful. More so, it's a safety issue for me. Yeah. Like, hey, if you're out, like, don't take drinks from random dudes.
That's a big thing.
This or that. Like, if anything, I'm just going to be concerned about like you getting home to me safely.
Yeah, and preferably, we all want somebody, like a lot of people, like your partner should be your best friend. You don't want to do everything with you.
I always.
And that's just me. Like if
I had a different belief on that for a long time, dude. Until her.
And it changes. Like it changes when you find somebody you can spend every single second or every single day with. Like then that's when you're like, oh shit, this is what it feels like to find. Your partner.
Always wanted a best friend partner.
Talk about that a little bit because I'm curious.
Yeah, but then for several years, I was in these relationships that it wasn't like that, and I'm like, man, there's nothing wrong with being different. Lydia and I are very different, but we're also very fucking similar in so many ways. Yeah. And I listen to black metal and this and that. She is not a fan of any of that stuff. But guess what? She will go to a concert with me just to like enjoy it because I love it.
Supportive.
Like a fucking best friend does. So, but I always believe like, man, okay, I think the best friend and their, male and female significant others can't be best friends. I said it's just genetically impossible. It's, she has her life, you have yours, and then y'all meet in the middle, y'all raise kids together, y'all fucking support the household, all those things, you do these things together. That's what a relationship is, and you just stick it out for the long run, and
I've heard you say that before, but I thought you were talking about like a person that you're not in a relationship, but you biologically can't just be friends with somebody without thinking about them sexually. Because I would agree with that. I didn't know you were talking about even in a relationship you can't be friends with them.
I mean, I definitely agree with what you just said. The first part, guys and girls cannot be best friends.
The primary
without an intention.
I have a couple females that I guess it depends on the person.
It's not that you can't.
No, it's not that you can't.
Like
but if you're
in action, you can. But if we're talking about it.
But like you're going to
biologically, there's something there.
Like you're hanging out with him outside of work, or he invites you over to a house party. Like,
what's like the thing of like, can you be around like a beautiful woman and be in a relationship and then just like turn off the part of you that's like, wow, that's a beautiful woman. Like
I think you can acknowledge someone's attractive. I think that's just human nature. But it shouldn't go beyond that. I've got a couple females that are friends of mine, but they're also in relationships, and their significant others are friends of mine as well. So I never look at them that way. I'm like, dude, this chick's cool as fuck, like good friend of mine. Different. But I love her dude too. But as far as like just being friends, for example, I mean, Lydia's got a couple friends she grew up with, but she, my whole thing is she assured me like there's never been any kind of whatever, and I genuinely do trust her, man. This girl's my fucking world. But, and I'm just like, hey, as long as there was never like, hey, I got a crush on you, that's where I draw the line. Because if that was ever a thing, then it always will be. You know what I'm saying? And so I just can't get on board with that. I wouldn't be friends with a chick that was like, I used to be in love with you. And it's just like, you used to, because those feelings aren't, like, you're still single and you still hang out with me. Like, that would be uncomfortable for me as well. So I'd have enough respect for my girl to be like, listen, we can't be homies.
What about people that are still friends with their exes?
No, fuck that.
Like if you were with Lydia and she had an ex, or if you were with your girl and she was like actively, like maybe not even actively friends, like they talk all the time, but like they were on good terms, they talk, they like whatever.
Nope. Personally, I just can't get on board with that, man. I'm like, hey, cut that string.
I mean, what do you think? I'm gonna be honest, bro. Big dog gonna have to know that it's daddy's time. He's gonna have to fucking.
Oh my god!
He's gonna have to kick. He's gonna have to kick rocks.
Kick rocks, buddy, or else I'll make you.
I just don't. I do not agree with that. But there's the things we talked about, expectations, and some people think you're always told you shouldn't have expectations in a relationship, and I'm like, no, expectations are okay. The problem is people don't state these things from the get go. So they get in a relationship. They're trying to like woo the other person, and they let a lot of questions and things subside because they don't want to bring that up. They don't want to push them away. And so months and months go by, and then all of a sudden the expectations and stuff come out, or whatever they think should be or shouldn't be. And they start asking the hard questions, and then they dig a little deeper. And then they're like, oh my God, I don't know if I like that about this person. Then there's all these fucking issues. It's like when I met her, dude, the first night we were having deep conversation. Like, I remember she had therapy, and her therapist, like 2 weeks in our relationship, was like, y'all are having conversations that I'm just now having with couples that have been married for 20 years, you know? And it's just like the real hard conversations. So yes, we both have expectations, but we stated them from the beginning. If you state these expectations with somebody at the beginning and there's a disagreement, then fine, don't waste each other's time.
Yeah.
But if you're like, hey, you know, you're like, okay, we're not going to waste each other's time. Like, we obviously feel differently about these things, and these are things I'm deep rooted in that I'm not going to sway on, then that's okay. But like, when you wait to like fucking, hey, by the way, I know we've been together a year and we fucking lived together, but I think things should be this way or that way. These are my expectations. It's like, whoa, I had no fucking clue about that. Now I'm like being really pushed away, and I've run into this situation numerous times. That's why, like, now I'm like, fuck yeah, this is great.
Well, a couple things about that. For one thing, I would a comment and a question. I'll throw it back to you, but talking about it in the beginning like that, the way that you said it, I think that words are important, right? Like the terminology that you use, you know, whatever. So, like, I wouldn't think that, like, discussing expectations in the beginning, to me, would be more setting standards. And standards and expectations are almost the same word, but they're a little bit different.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so if you do that in the beginning, that's setting standards, right?
Yeah.
But the question that I had about that is, we were talking about balance earlier, about a couple of different things, like a tough balance. So, you know, there's people that talk about expectations as like you should go into situations open-minded, right? And I even had a listen to a boxer having a conversation about this, and basically the guy was advising the boxer, you do everything you can to win, but you go into the competition open-minded so that essentially if the outcome isn't what you wanted, you're not totally destroyed type thing. But at the same time, you do have to, like, okay, so for example, earlier you said, I never think about not winning. So essentially what you're saying is your expectation is set to win
every time,
regardless. So that's also a mindset, right? So I guess my point is, how do you balance setting expectations, setting standards, but also having the mindset of like, of that, you know what I mean?
I think it just depends.
Because like you're not going to win every time. Right?
I think it depends on the subject.
You more of take like,
does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. You more of take like, I say like I'm going to win every time, and yeah, I could lose, but that loss is going to make me win again, because a lot of people will lose and continue to lose because they took that loss so hard. They don't know how to dig out.
Rather than trying to learn from it and apply that.
So really, everything is going to be a lesson. And the more you learn, the better you are. Knowledge is power. So
yeah, man. And it's also too, like, I think just having the open-mindedness in a relationship is important to certain things. Like, one thing she and I established at the get-go was values. Mm-hmm. Values are one thing that you can't really budge on. Like, I think that's
you set that in the beginning type thing.
Yeah, I think that's something you need to establish from the get-go. Like, what are your values? What are mine? Let's talk about these. That way this isn't an issue down the road, because I'm not budging on my values. And I don't expect someone else to either. But you can have me and her have literally the exact same values, and it's like, all right, that's out of the way. Now there's other things we go into, like spirituality, that we can be open-minded on and, you know, work on together and whatnot. But so yeah, I think it just depends, man. But that's a really good.
I think it's communication.
Communication.
Everything has got to be communicated, and sometimes you get people that don't know how to communicate.
Well, people don't understand communication.
I'll say that as like myself, I'm actually not that good at communicating, especially when it comes to like expressing feelings. I feel like it's like a sign of weakness. But that's just also kind of like how I've
I'm very much one that very much like does talk about feelings.
See, and that's where I'm starting to grow, like be better to start express feelings, because you ain't gotta
you express them.
You ain't gotta be a hard ass all the time.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Dude,
but like,
I'm an emotional dude.
I think it was because we were talking about, I think it was either Peterson or Tate, honestly, but it may have been Peterson. But they were basically saying, like, they were trying to pin him in a corner and say, well, you say being vulnerable is weak. And he said, no, I don't. He said, I think that being vulnerable takes courage, which means it's strong.
It's tough.
Yeah.
So whenever he says don't be weak, he's not saying don't be vulnerable. That's what if anything, that's maybe your definition in your head. And sometimes people say stuff, it's like you actually just revealed what you think. I didn't say that being vulnerable was weak. That's what your mind goes to whenever I say weakness.
And that's why I say that, because like a lot of times, like before, like that's what I think, like, a bottle of emotions, swallow it, move on. That's what I do. I don't need, who needs to feel? Let's fucking crush that.
No, I agree 110%. So, and the communication thing's huge as well. Like I'd be in past relationships where it's like, we'd have a big fucking blowout fight over something that just built up. And after the fight, kiss and make up, but
nothing got solved.
And then we'd bring it up again. I thought we communicated about that, talked about it. No, we fought about it. Yeah. We yelled at each other. But nothing fucking, there's no result. It just was like a blow up. And
I'm not a yeller.
Trust me. And I'm not either, but I've been in relationships where I've been pushed that level. That's where I realized I was in the wrong relationship. I was like, well, fuck, I think that's not in my character.
I can't do that. Like if you get to a yelling match, I will look at you in the face and just not say a word.
Yeah.
Don't yell at me.
Yeah.
Like I can't stand that shit personally. But I mean, that also, like, communication is big.
Oh yeah.
Like what he's saying, vulnerability, you got to be careful who you show it to. You can't give it to everybody because people take advantage of it. And they're going to walk all over you.
I've had people take advantage of me.
I mean, and nobody wants to be taken advantage of. So but that's you and me. That's how we decide who gets it and who doesn't. It's kind of like earning but when they do get it, you see who we really are.
Yep. I agree.
So I think I've kind of struggled on that communication aspect of, like, not just bottling up every emotion I get because I feel it's weak to feel. Mm-hmm. So I've been that's something I've worked on this from the beginning of the year, really, and keep moving. Yeah,
I was like that for a long time. Then I went on some massive mushroom trips and ayahuasca and shit. And I was like, you know what? I can feel these things. I can communicate them, and it's okay.
I do Casamigo trips. I just finish a bottle and then I just lay there and I'll look at the
Then you wake up and you forget the whole thing. But we're gonna cut a quick break, and then we'll get into the last segment of this and close.
Yeah, so sounds good.
Hell yeah! All right, everybody. So ready to roll? So we've been talking about a lot of shit. I mean, we started with the whole basis of, like, what led to his, owning a store, and then, like, what's next and all that stuff. But we obviously got quite off subject. But we touched on some really good topics and stuff that we're probably going to bring up soon. I'd love for people to give input and be like, hey, emphasize on this more or that more. And I think it'd be a lot of fun. I mean, I had a really good time recording this episode. But that being said, we still didn't get into more up to, where you're at now.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Like I said before, Will's local. He can come out here any fucking time. He's going to be a repeat offender here on the
phone call away
podcast. Yeah. So he's going to be here pretty often. So we'll get, as we get more into his story, we'll touch on other things as well.
Yeah.
I've always got alarms going off. Shit. I didn't expect us to go this long today. That's why. All right. My bad. Hate that shit.
Yeah. I set like 20. I still don't get out of bed.
But, so what I want to say is, shit. I like to end every episode with, like, kind of a tough question. And this can vary in a million different ways, and it can, you can also emphasize it more next time. But, next time we'll get into more of your story, but what is your pursuit now? In general, like, and that applies to everything in life, man. Like, your main focus and pursuit right now, what's next for you as far as maybe your career or your relationships or just whatever aspect of life? Like, what to you do you want to put an emphasis on?
Being successful. I think it's kind of broad to say that, but I think, like, I say that as, like, well,
I love how he took my pen and now he's got the pen.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm putting the ideas down now.
Yeah, of course.
I'm the captain. Yeah. But I say successful just because, like, or success in general, because I feel like there's a lot of things in life, like, there's a lot of things I've watched my family struggle or me struggle in general.
Pull your mic up a little bit.
Where you want it? You tell me where? Right there? In my mouth? Is that good?
Be the first one to put it all the way.
Oh my God.
Let me see that. What do you think?
Shit's getting weird. Well, that'll be a special one of those nighttime episodes.
Is that 8 inches?
I got to get a black couch in here.
A black couch. I mean, this
RP casting couch.
Are you telling me, Logan, that this is big?
It is big? Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Fucking, I don't know. To put in your mouth?
I mean, I'm just saying, is that an average size?
See, this is when we know we're at the end of the episode. Things are getting weird.
But shooting back to what we're saying, I think like I've watched a lot, like with family or just myself in general, like struggle with bills. I think that's the outcome. Like I'm trying to be stress free. Fuck, holy shit, stress free, and with that is success. So a lot of times I think when you become successful in life, obviously you're gonna have a lot more stress because getting to that is stressful. But at that end goal, you know, just being stress free and
so basically, financial relief, financial freedom. Oh, I love this because so my woman and I, like I said, we're in transitions professionally. Like, I mean, I'm not, I've got all my money put into this, right? So I don't have like a huge cushion to fuck around with.
I feel you.
But she's also in a huge transition in her career, and like we're both like, all right, we got to be a little more careful, which I've had to do in a long time. But the goal is for us to both like fucking get past this season. She's going to be selling more houses. She's going to have a lot of opportunity there. RP is going to keep growing. Yeah, this is going to blow up. RP is going to blow up overall. And then it's, I don't put all my weight in finances because like finances are material and they can, money can come and go and it can all mean nothing tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day.
Agreed.
But in the world we live in now, it's necessary to be free.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be able to say, hey, babe, how about we go to Iceland next month?
And do it. Without
like,
even thinking about it.
And I look at the plane tickets and like they're sky high, but I'm not even worried about it. I just get the tickets.
Run it up.
Then we just go and we do what we want.
That's
I don't care to have a million, billion, all the things, but I want to just be able to freely go experience things without having to fucking worry about it.
I don't want, I don't have to be rich as fuck. Like, I mean, no, that'd be dope. Right? That'd be fucking dope.
Not opposed to it.
I mean, I'm not opposed, but I'm saying I don't have to be there. I want to be at that point in life where, like you look at me and you're like, we were just talking about King of the Streets. Like, yo, you want to go over here and watch these motherfuckers beat the shit out of each other?
Yes.
Well, not be like, well, shit, man, I gotta get to work tomorrow. I got this due on the 1st, and I'm barely pushing that. Fuck all that. I'm trying to be past that. And like a lot of times, like where we discuss like how do you get there, and it's not necessarily like, have I really thought about how to get there, or I've really just told myself that I will be there? Because I feel like if I constantly tell myself like, you're gonna make it,
manifest it, but you have to, in order to gain, you need to make sacrifices.
No, 100% true.
110%. Sometimes you have to sacrifice financially in order to really get where you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
For example, my athlete Steve, like he's doing a jiu-jitsu thing out in Abu Dhabi or some shit.
Oh shit!
Later this year.
That's wild.
And I'm like, fuck, I'd love to go to that. Right now, it's not in the cards for me to pay for the plane ticket and like get out there and like, cover all those expenses, because I got a lot of other things to take care of. But, eventually with everything, that's going to be a no brainer. Like, oh yeah, I'll be there, dude. I can go ahead and get my ticket right
let's
now.
Run it up. Yeah. But
exactly.
That's that's question of pursuit. Like, what am I pursuing? And I feel like that's just like that. Freedom, with my friends, family, whoever, just freedom in general. I feel like we're constantly chasing that. Nobody wants to be in a fucking cubicle all day.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck wants to do that?
Yeah, and I'd like to eventually where the brand, obviously I'm going to be recording podcasts, but like I don't have to worry about, I'll train I enjoy training clients, so I'll probably have a few people, but, this place just kind of runs itself. I got enough trainers that, that, the overhead's paid, and I'm able to start pocketing from the apparel side of things and whatnot. That's going to be a beautiful thing, but I got to put a lot more into it right now in order to have that outcome. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I think that's a great answer. I think it's something that most people should strive for,
but they don't. They don't think it's they don't think it's possible. Achievable. That's the issue with it.
And for some, it's more difficult than others.
No, yeah, everybody has like, well. That's touchy too. Everybody, what is difficult to you might not be difficult to me. What's difficult to me might be difficult to you.
Oh yeah, people got children and shit, right?
Yeah. So like
my girl and I want to have kids, so that's going to be another hurdle.
I'm the last Wiseman. If I don't have a boy, I'm done. Damn. Like this is it. I got to spit it out.
Same, brother. Same.
My cousin just had. I think both of my cousins that are. Well, no, I only have one other Adams cousin, and he. I think he just had a little girl, or maybe he had a boy. I think he had a boy. I don't know. I have to ask him. My cousin Brandon. We got to get in better touch. I keep always forgetting.
I mean, look, dude. I'm not really. I love my family. I'm not super family orientated. I'm the ghost. Like the birthday parties. I'm not there. Or like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm the one that like shows up and they're like, holy shit, is Will here?
You got your own thing going on.
Did he actually
too.
come?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that, I would love to have a little boy. It'd be cool. It'd be a cool little mini me.
I can't wait to have kids. I mean, if I have like all girls, I'll be happy.
Right now, I'm sucking it up. I'm the golden. I'm the star. I'm the star of the show.
Man, that reminds me. I want to talk on this next time. I was going to talk about how like family, in general. Like, I've got a lot of fucking friends that I built that I've got a relationship with that I'm a lot closer than a lot of my family. But society tells you that you need, family is everything, and you need to like. I don't know. I want it.
No,
this would be a great subject, but we're going to bring this up. I'm going to write it down. But
your pen, sir.
Yeah. So we'll talk about family and like
That's true. Like I got
and friendships and all that.
My buddy Blaine, he moved into the house with me. It's been a minute, but I met him at the gym. He was I was going into 1440 at the time. I was just gonna go hit a quick back day. I see this kid doing lap. Swear to God, you can ask him about this story if you ever meet him. I'm sure you will. He was doing lap pull downs, and I was like, man, this is cool. This cat. I was saying hey to him here and there. I look at him like, how many sets you done?
Yeah.
He's like, man, I've done like 3 movements. I was like, quit what you're doing. You're lifting with me today. And then out of nowhere, he just started. Like, we ain't not lifted together since, and I just pretty much took him in. He's only 20. He's like my son. I mean, he's like my son. Like I'm literally like any advice he needs, I help him.
Oh yeah.
Like wherever, like fuck, congrats to him.
But you're closer to him than a lot of family.
Oh yeah, facts. I'd die for that kid.
Well, like, and to touch on that, since we're here, I know we need to get it done, but I do want to say, I was going to die. Okay. Fuck. How long do you think? Okay. Well, shit. We'll get on this next time because I got a really good topic. But anyways, thank you for being here. This is a really fun podcast. Will's my fucking boy. We've had a good time just chatting it up today, and we're going to keep it rolling. Will, just tell him thanks. Tell him your social media, how to connect with you, follow you, and we'll close up.
Thanks to you, Joe, for having me out here. Always been a big supporter of Relentless Pursuit. Well, if you guys want to keep in touch with me, my Instagram is William.Wiseman9. And if you guys want to come shop in the store for the best subs in town, come and see me, Nutrition Factory Mount Juliet. That is also the Instagram handle. And yeah, just come give me a shout. I'm there every day.
Yes, sir. Hell yeah. Everybody check him out. Good shit. Everybody go check my boy out. Remember to follow us at Relentless_Pursuit on Instagram, Relentless Pursuit _HQ, to see all the headquarters stuff. And stay tuned for the podcast week after week. This will be like the 3rd week of August. This one's dropping. But thank you for the support, and let's keep it rolling, baby. Woo! Good time. I need a fucking dip.